Hi guys, I know it's been a while since I did this, since I recorded something and put online. Been busy trying to catch up with the NBA, how it starts, trying to figure out what teams would basically win or not, but anyway, we're here. So today I'm basically gonna talk about mental health. And I know you'll be wondering why mental health in a sneaker conversation video. But they are connected, so stay on with me. Because I have great things to discuss, and more or less like a rant as well. So today it's not going to be about Nike. Nike has always been my go-to pair of sneaker. So today I'm going to talk about Adidas, and with special reference to Kanye West. I mean, the whole of last week and part of this week, I mean, Kanye West has been on every news station, on every blogger, on every Twitter feed, on any social feed that you may think of. And it's all about how Adidas and Kanye West has basically parted ways. So to start off with this, Kanye West has had a 6-year relationship with Adidas. And out of that relationship, it's been blissful, if I may call it that. So initially Kanye West was with Nike, and out of his relationship with Nike, he came up with two pairs of the Yeezy, the Air Yeezy 1 and the Air Yeezy 2. I mean, that pair of sneaker was everything. You could not even think about anything wrong with it. The one thing that stands out in my head is that Malcolm was performing in New York, Times Square, and he had a pair of this particular pair of sneaker, the Air Yeezy 2. And what did he do? He took it off his feet and he threw them to the crowd. I mean, that thing trended. That's how big that pair of sneaker is. That sneaker was just not a sneaker. It was a culture on its own. So it was a very awkward moment for Kanye West and Nike. And out of that sour relationship that they had, it had to stop. But like I said, we were blessed with two amazing pairs of sneakers. Those sneakers are very difficult to find. They are basically sought after sneakers. The Air Yeezy 1 and the Air Yeezy 2. And the most famous one was the Red Octobers. So over his relationship with Adidas, we know Kanye West is very creative. That is one thing we will give him. He's extensively creative. I mean, we've seen his works with music and his lyrics, his punchline, and what it did for Jay-Z in his albums and in his record tracks. I mean, Kanye West is an amazing mind. He's brilliant in every form you can think of. For Kanye West, this is something which, I mean, nobody ever thought of that he would be, but over the years, this guy has just proven to us how amazing he is. So with the relationship with Adidas, I mean, Adidas gave him all the freedom as far as creativity is concerned. Nike and Kanye West collaboration was not well timed, in as much as they came up with fire sneakers. And I feel like Nike wasn't really there. There was a lot of sampling problems that came about, taking too long to get particular samples of this particular pair of sneakers for Kanye West, for sure. And at the end of it all, I mean, they had to just call it quits. And I think that was more like a blessing in disguise for Kanye West. So this led to the beginning of a journey with Adidas and the birth of Yeezy Adidas sneakers. I mean, Adidas gave Kanye West so much freedom with creativity. He could basically do anything that he wanted to do. And like I mentioned, his creativity is out of this world. And one thing that I will always, give credit to Kanye West is his punchlines, his creativity with the instruments, and basically anything that he touches as far as music is concerned goes great. I mean, we have seen the records he's done with Jay-Z and his own records itself, and the storyline that he's always brought about it, how, with the support from his mama. I mean, that's something that we cannot just brush aside, because we know it. He did whatever it is that could be done, and he's a genius in many ways. So The 6-year relationship with Adidas has been consistent, and he's been very busy with his sneaker line. There's so many pairs of these Yeezy sneakers. There's so many of them. I can't even put a count to it. And I mean, this pushed Kanye to billionaire status. So you can imagine. So one thing is, he was basically holding 100% shares of the Yeezy brand of sneakers with Adidas. This was a big deal for him. The amount of money that he was able just to pull in was not little. It was a lot of it. And because of the status and all the vibe that came with all this Yeezy, shoe line with Adidas, pushed this guy to a billionaire status. There's certain things which I feel needs to be addressed. So Kanye West, at some point in time, I think could be last year but one, he was straight up about Adidas tapping into his creations and creating sneakers with alternative price options. And I'm thinking, with their partnership and knowing how much the Yeezy Adidas sneakers cost, for Adidas to do that for him, it felt like, being stabbed at the back. So they started with the Yee slide, where Adidas has a similar pair out there by the name Adidas Adelaide 22, and it retails for a fraction of what the slides are costing. These are just a few, but basically the alternatives of Yeezy options that are basically out there. There are many of them. I noted a few that kind of picked from the design. They have a lot of similarities to it. And I don't own any pair of Yeezys. So basically this was out of research and just reading through the internet, seeing videos, looking at pictures. And I picked out a few that I was like, you know what, these ones, they do look similar to the Kanye West sneakers, the Yeezy sneakers. And Adidas is selling them for a fraction of what the Adidas Yeezy sneakers are. Like, one is the Adiform SLNT. I don't know why they come up with those kind of things. Slattern or SLNT, which borrows design elements from the Yeezy 350 or 700. Basically from how that particular sneaker looks, from its sole and the uppers and just how it's put together, you can actually see a lot of similarities of those two particular sneakers. But now, the Adiform SLTN is quite lower in price compared to the Yeezy 350 or 700. And it's something which I was like, okay, this is very weird, because why would the Adidas do that and provide an option that is more or less close to what Kanye West has in his Yeezy brand. The other one is the Adidas Ozonova. What these names? Ozonova looks very much like the Yeezy 700 V2, and it provides an alternative look and feel in every form of it at a much cheaper price, much lower price. So if I was walking into the Adidas store and I see this, I'll basically find a shift to it, because when you just put it on, it looks very good. No one will come and verify on your foot what exactly you're wearing, because they have a lot of similarities. And if you have those two pairs of shoes, those two pairs of sneakers, they're Ozonova and the Yeezy 700 V2. I mean, there's nothing much more you need to say. They're so similar in every aspect, in every way. There's one called Oswego, Adidas Oswego. My God, these names, I don't even know where they come up with these names from. Which is very close to Yeezy 500. It's basically, the Yeezy 500 was put on a photocopy machine, and the end result on the other end was the Adidas Oswego. It's in every aspect very, very similar to the 500, the Yeezy 500. And when you look at all that, it makes you believe that, for sure, Kanye West has a very valid reason when he says Adidas was borrowing from his creative tongue. Then there's one called Adidas Ozelia, and there's one called Ozara. Those sneakers names, man, Adidas is just losing it completely. It offers the cheaper option of the Yeezy 700 V3, and it's very affordable as you compare to the Yeezy 700 V3, and it borrows everything from that particular pair of sneaker from the Yeezy brand. The Adidas Adiform Q is what caused the internet to blow up, basically, with how much it looks so much like the Yeezy Adiform runner. So what this Adiform Q does is it's basically replicated the foam runner and just give it an inlay. And this inlay is supposed to give it more like a different feel to it. And if you look at those two pairs of sneakers, they're so similar. From what I've seen with that particular pair of sneaker from Adidas, the Adiform Q, I mean, it's basically a rip-off of the Yeezy foam runner. I know there could be more out there with the same vibe to it, but this is what I was able to pick up, which was very close. I'm not so knowledgeable in Adidas, but from my research and from my reading and being a big fan of Kanye West, so with me is the Yeezy 450. I will just show you that pair of sneaker in a few. Let me just do that. Hey, so I'm going to pick something. So with me here is a Yeezy 450. You can clearly tell this is not in my size, and this is not my kind of sneakers. I don't know if you can see it. As you can see, this is the Yeezy 450. I like this color. This color is so much fire. It's pink, I think. Yeah, it's pink. It's size 39. These are not in my size, basically. They're not my kind of sneakers. So you can have a look at the creativity that this particular pair of sneaker comes with. I've never been an Adidas fan. I had to borrow these. Clearly you can tell they're still very new, and the most surprising thing is they're not even the real thing. These are replicas. It shows you the level of impact that Kanye West has had in over the years with his influence in fashion and anything that comes down to what fashion is. This guy has moved the paradigm as far as fashion is concerned, something which I will really uphold in him. So for him to come up with things like this, and they move like crazy. And the person I borrowed this from, he has a green pair. You see, they would look nice on a female's foot though, but I mean, they have a green pair to it, and they have and this person also has a gray pair to it. So you can see the level of detail in this particular pair of sneaker where the stitch work is done to precision. The design is excellent. It has a tab to it, and it makes you see the level of impact this guy has been to this particular society, and as far as fashion is concerned. I did mention mental health when we were starting this video. The one thing that really makes me feel so bad is the fact that Kanye West is one person who's basically just come out and outrightly mentioned about his mental health struggles, and he says he takes medication to it, and he's also mentioned of whatever thing that happens to him as far as his medication is concerned, if he doesn't take it. So the problem that I do have is, why haven't we not, as a society, reached out to Kanye West and basically tell him what probably he's doing is wrong? Or probably need to just check on him and be like, hey dude, have you taken your medicine? Have you taken your medication? Are you seeing your doctor? And I feel like some of these things that are happening to him currently, and he's been trending all over the world and saying all these things that he's saying, Kanye West is crazy. That I do give him. And it comes with every person who's creative. They have some level of craziness that needs to be addressed. But the problem is, if you don't get time and address that craziness that this dude has, then at the end of it all, we are wasting. This is a brilliant mind. Are we waiting for something bad to happen, then we will come out and be like, oh, probably we should have done something. And I think that is what the American society is all about. We just sit and wait. I've hoped for, Jay-Z to call him and just check on him, and DJ Khaled to call him, Dr. Dre to call him, Swizz Beatz to call him. It's fine. We have those moments in our lives, and I feel we are victimizing Kanye West so much. I'm not supporting anything that he does. That dude is crazy, but his craziness needs to be looked into. So where I come from, if you're in that particular point in time, somebody will check up on you. Somebody will be knocking at your door. Somebody will be there, try to find out what is it that we can do to make it better for you. But we cannot just sit and hold our hands and just at that particular point in time, every media house is giving him a microphone, and we know this dude is mentally challenged. Listen to what is said about the Jews. That was just outrightly wrong. And what is the result of it? His Balenciaga contract is gone. His Adidas contract is not gone. And the Adidas contract is huge, because now there will be no more of this. We'll never see another Yeezy out, as thanks to Adidas. One thing we need to accept and say is Kanye West has been very pivotal in giving Adidas a lifeline. In my opinion, Adidas was basically a dying brand, if I may call it that, because it was no longer being seen on courts with players. Very few players are with Adidas. James Harden, Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, those are the ones that I can remember top of mind. But from a brand point of view, Nike has basically taken over this world. It's in every sport that you can think of. Nike was never much in football. Americans call it soccer. But now every other Premier League player, Premier League team is having a Nike on them. It could be on their feet, it could be in their jerseys, it could be in the club, everywhere. So for me, Kanye West gave Adidas a lifeline, something that they can think of, something that they can, it helped Adidas have top of mind awareness amongst consumers because of how aggressive Kanye West is. It's with every project that he does. Now his album has dropped as far as, streams are concerned online. Is that something that we really want to associate this with? Someone who has given us an amazing bunch of tracks, an amazing bunch of songs. So for me, I feel like we are failing as a society and just sitting down and just waiting for something bad to happen so that eventually we can be like, this thing just fall in place. And damn, we should have done something. So in my opinion, I feel like we need to be a bit more responsive in terms of how we deal with this guy, because this guy is a brilliant mind. He's mentioned it and he's said it. I have no beef with Kanye West, but what I'm basically trying to say is I'm calling him out, because Kanye West, you cannot give us all this hope. I mean, I listened to your music, and I would listen to the way you would put down that pen to paper and how you'd record your vocals to the track, the punchlines that you carried. And for me, I felt like this is just the most brilliant human being as far as this world is concerned. I was reading that just the other day that he's played a very huge role in Hollywood, the film Danjo, and it was his thought. And it tells you that he's a brilliant mind that we need to probably take care of. And we're not really putting a lot of emphasis and effort in it. But I feel probably we need to give it more thought to it. Because for Kanye West, this is a guy who needs help. He's been kicked off the billionaire list thanks to his cancellation deal with Adidas. I don't know how Adidas will continue doing this. They have crazy names for shoes, and I keep wondering how will they work with their marketing, because their marketing is terrible. This is pulled off the world. There'll be no more production of the Yeezy boot, the Yeezy sneakers, and this is a Yeezy 450. This is a replica. It's not even the real thing. The Chinese have made a lot of money from this because they've learned and known the importance, the significance of Kanye West and how best he can put something out there. This guy's defined fashion. He's extremely brilliant. But we need to listen to every single thing he says. I've listened to all his interviews he's done with Piers Morgan, with who and all that. And there's a truth in what he says. I read between the lines and I'm like, this is a guy who's crying out for help. But no one is really reaching out to help him. So he's just there. He goes wild on Twitter, says whatever thing he wants to say. So he's lost so much in just a week. So much is gone. So you can say things like that. And I listen to some things he says, I'm like, dude, man, just slow down. And it tells you when you're at a particular place in society, you have to watch what you say because you're very influential. Your social media following, you have over 50 million people following you on social. Those people are looking up to you. They like your thing. They like every single thing that you put down. So you have to be very, very responsive in every aspect and in every element of how you will say it. So for me, I've been hurt by whatever thing is happening to Kanye West. I wish I could help him. I wish I could reach out to him and just sit him down and tell him, dude, probably it's time to just take a step back. Let's relook at all these things and see what is it that would work well for you. And you got kids, boy. It's something which you need to look at and secure. It's not going broke, I know that for sure, but how will your kids feel if everybody else is trolling them about what their father says and does? So I think about that, and that is what to me is society is all about. So for me, this is MEG, and thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Give me a thumbs up button, and probably in the comment section you can just drop what you feel about Kanye West. Because for me, that dude is everything and we need to just take care of him. Let me start my day and my money. Peace out.